In honor of Black History Month, we are celebrating our local leaders, and this includes a woman whose voice is heard by the entire DFW community and beyond. She is one of our favorites. Dede McGuire, host of Dede in the Morning on K104, is here to share her inspiration and life journey of becoming a radio icon.
I love it when you're here.
And an Instagram icon, in my opinion.
I know, I swear, I love Instagram. I will just say, first of all, you guys, thank you for having me, and I got a chance to meet Megan, who is just beautiful. I was like, really? Another pretty woman on the broadcast? Really? Okay. Let me just say this, first of all. Thank you again for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk about, you know, Black history. I just hosted a program yesterday at the MLK Center, and just to see these young kids and the way they spoke about some of the their ancestors, in a sense, or some of those they knew before them, it was just so amazing, because what you realize is that that's inspiration for them. And as I'm watching them at this MLK Center, I thought about, that's what I did. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, growing up, my mom, she talked about so much of the history I didn't even realize that I actually learned from my mother and not from school. You know, my mother would talk to me about, you know, she talked about Sojourner Truth, you know, and talked about her being an activist, and really more than anything, a woman's activist. My mother talked about, you know, when I think about Andrew Young, who was the first mayor, and, you know, Douglas Wilder. I mean, like, the list goes on and on and on with some of the people my mother mentioned. And so when I'm watching this program yesterday, I'm going, are these kids, you know, who's teaching them that? I hope their parents are.
I have a question for you about that. Now, I think with the movie Selma coming to the big screen, we were able to introduce some of the struggle. But do you think our kids are missing so much of the history and what happened 40, 50 years ago?
Oh, definitely, because again, I'm thinking about what my mother, and again, I guess you can tell my inspiration for who I am today is because of my mom, but it's because my mother taught me at home. You know, we're expecting our schools to teach some of this, and maybe they should, because a lot of it is American history.
Right.
You know, we get into this month and everybody calls it Black history, but really it is American history, because so many have shaped who America and what America is today, you know? When you look at MLK, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, I mean, come on, President Obama.
Right, right.
Which I was going to mention must have been a wonderful moment for your mother, being as you know, being such a great educator for you about Black history. You were able to take her to the White House and meet the Obamas.
That was, I even get chills right now. I just sat here and I got chills on that. And I hope I don't cry about that. But it is because my mother was a single mom, and with 5 kids. I was the youngest of 5. And so it was a situation where I saw her struggle, and she tried to teach us that you never give up. And that was one of the reasons why she always taught, you know, about some of the African Americans before us. She was trying to tell us, look at their spirit, look at their perseverance and their tenacity and how they never gave up. And so she always used them as an inspiration. I mean, she would talk about Lena Horne doing movies, you know, and how impressive that was, or Sidney Poitier winning an Oscar. Hattie McDaniel from Gone with the Wind being the first African American to win an Oscar, and then when you saw the importance of Halle Berry, who won, and I always think to myself, my mother taught me all of that, you know. And
it's like we've come so far, but are we at a place where we still have so far to go, and people aren't recognizing that?
Exactly, I think so, and that's the sad part about it. But I will tell you guys, doing what I do today, like I said, you know, you said my mother, bringing her, she was that inspiration, and she was that woman who told me never give up. And I remember being a kid watching, you know, a lot of people say to me, well, you're doing a morning show, and it's very rare that a woman gets to be the host. We're normally the co-host.
Right.
And you know what I mean? But we very rarely. And I remember my mother telling me to watch Iola Johnson on Channel 8, you guys.
Yeah, she was so good.
Yeah.
So good, so poised.
I mean, even today, when you look at Clarice Tinsley, who's still doing it.
Amazingly beautiful.
And we also know as women, we're judged differently. I mean, I hate to turn it into Women's History Month, but
it's true.
But it is so true. And to know that even Clarice has been doing it so long, it's an inspiration.
She's so
you know,
gracious.
I want to ask you this question. It's something that I read this morning, that Geraldo Rivera, of all people, made this comment. I'm sure you heard it. You probably talked about it on air. He made a comment about hip-hop music being more damaging to Black culture than racism. And he's getting a lot of flack for it.
And I would like to disagree with that.
Yeah.
I really would. I think you know, people always say that music is the universal language, and truthfully, there are a lot of hip-hop concerts you'll go to, whether it's Jay-Z, Wiz Khalifa, Kanye West, or many times the audience is not African-American.
Right. No.
And
I mean, my kids are listening, and they're as wide as day long.
Yeah, and so it's unfortunate that he would think that is the cause of it. I think the breakdown in what's happening in our community has nothing, I won't say has nothing, but it's not, you can't blame it only on rap.
But it also grew social consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Fight the power and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm saying that the issues that we have today, they don't involve just hip hop music.
Yeah.
It's bigger than
Music
that.
is
It's
so
way
much
bigger.
the message than the actual
Exactly.
problem or even a symptom of the problem.
So I disagree with Geraldo on that one.
He's always welcome to come on your show and talk about it, though, right?
You are definitely a representation of your mother, and I can tell that the way you are on air, the way you present yourself in our community is got to be a direct correlation to the way you were raised.
It really is. And I got to just tell y'all, again, you know, if you guys have shown the picture of my mother and I going to the White House, again, it was the best feeling. Her awe in her face of knowing that she was able to meet the first black president. It was like...
That had to be such a full circle
It
moment
was.
for her. Single mom.
Yep.
And then like, wow, my daughter is here now. She's meeting the president, and I get to be there with her.
Exactly. That was a
So
dream
cool.
come true, you guys. So
Love it.
Thank you for
well,
being
I'm glad
here.
we're out of time because I'm crying now. So. Dede, you are such an inspiration, and we thank you for being who you are, being here with us, and being in this community is such a good example. And we are back with more broadcast right after this.